Greetings. Tonight we are here to investigate ape-like creatures who have been spotted all over the globe, from the east to the west, and now here in Kalamazoo. And tonight we look to discover what these eyewitnesses have seen.
Tonight on Kalamazoo Kreepy Files, we interview an eyewitness who's seen this elusive creature. And due to this amazing encounter, he wished to keep his identity secret.
Every day thinking about it, because I do believe that their intention is to replace us as the dominant species on Earth. And I do believe that it's of the utmost importance that the government organize some sort of strike force.
Replace us as the dominant species of Earth? The government should form a strike force to kill these Bigfoot? This and more will be looked at more in-depthly later on in the episode. But first, we head out on foot with our very own field experts to track down the Kalamazoo Sasquatch. The deep woods of Kalamazoo are full of valleys and thick vegetation. It takes a lot of high-powered equipment to go on a hunt like this. But first, we are trained professionals. Hunting Bigfoot is dangerous and requires a lot of skill, patience, and ammo. So please, do not try this at home.
My name is Doug, not Timmy. Told Joe about 5 times now. He doesn't listen. I'm from the UP, just a small town in the UP. Originally, I came in as an intern to work for Joe's car rental company. But as you can see, that's changed. Not really sure what happened. I literally came into work one day, and he was practically bouncing off the walls. And he said to me, "I'm going to make you a man. We're going to skin a foot." But it turned out good for me, though. I'm getting paid twice as much. And he pays for the hotels, you know, food, gas. But just between you and me, I think this came from his wife leaving him. You know, like a midlife crisis or something.
We traveled deep in the woods with no sign of Bigfoot activity until we came upon something very suspiciously Squatch-like.
Timmy, we found definitive evidence. Look at this. This didn't just happen like this. It's a leg, torso, head, arms. Somebody deliberately put this here. You know who it was?
Foot.
Absolutely.
See, it wears fruit of the loom. Look at that.
I wonder if his mom put his name in his
Juicy.
underwear.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look. Let's see what size he wears. Let's see. It's large. Oh, and some skid marks. Look at that.
Or is that oatmeal?
Oh, yeah. Some chocolate. See, he wears a large and skid mark, too. Oh. Wow.
Document this for our files, Timmy. Try to focus on this spot right here.
Get a better shot. There we go.
we should take a DNA sample.
No.
Wow, we are already very early on in our investigation of the woods around Kalamazoo, and we already have found some pretty astounding evidence that Bigfoot is, in fact, in these woods.
Hello, Mr. White. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight here in our Kreepy studio. What was it that you were here to explain to us tonight?
Well, I just want to thank you, Matt, for the opportunity to be here and share the news with you that they walk among us.
And when you say them, you mean
The Bigfoots.
the Bigfoots. What was your experience like? How did you come across them?
Absolutely. I was walking through the woods, as I do several times a week, and I came across a riverbed which was not familiar to me. And across the river I saw what I thought was a gorilla that had escaped from the zoo, but it was actually much more exciting than that. It was, I later realized, a Bigfoot.
It's very interesting indeed. How did you believe that you found the Bigfoot? Were they scampering around on all fours, or were they up and around walking?
Well, they were upright. They were walking in a manner not unlike the famous video from the 70s of Bigfoot walking. And kind of that was what helped me identify them, because I was still thinking, wow, those are weird looking gorillas. And then I got out my phone and I looked up a video of a gorilla walking, and I realized they weren't gorillas at all.
I see. So you had your phone with you. Were you able to capture any video or photos of this alleged Bigfoot?
I really hate saying this because I feel really stupid, but I honestly, it didn't even occur to me at the time to take a picture or a video. I just kind of had my phone in my hand the whole time, and I was watching them going, wow, but I never took a picture.
In our research leading up to our investigation of the Kalamazoo Bigfoot, we discovered that scientists believe that a specific species of monkey has the ability for mind control. As you can see in this exclusive video footage, this monkey here clearly is able to predict what number is going to appear in what box on the screen. And it is a theory that this species of monkey is in fact a relative to the Sasquatch.
I understand that is a very overwhelming experience, and it has been said before that some Bigfoot may have the ability to psychically connect with people who find them in order to use a unknown power that will not allow others to photograph or videotape them. Was that something that you felt as well?
Well, to be honest, I thought I'd just been forgetful, but now that you're saying that, I can almost feel like I can remember some sort of powerful psychic link with the creatures. I felt this force coming into my mind, trying to read my thoughts and trying to send me this message that just everything was going to be okay. And I do believe that was the Bigfoot family sending it to me, sending the thoughts my way.
So you say there was a family of these big feet. How were you able to stay hidden from them for so long? Did you try to get their attention in any way?
Oh no, I just stood on the other side of the river, just kind of staring at them. Oftentimes when I was in high school, people would walk right by me, bump into me, knock me to the ground even, walking past me in the hallway, and it was as if they didn't even notice me. So I suspect I have just maybe some sort of calming presence for the creatures.
Yeah, that is always one of the cases that we've come across before, Well, how long were they in your vision? Were you able to, how long did you follow them? Or what did you do as they left the riverbed?
Well, I realized, after a few minutes that they probably were going to head away at some point, and I wanted to be able to follow them. So, I realized pretty quickly, excuse me, I got to get across the river. Got to, get over to where the big feet are. And so I pulled out my rope. I always keep rope on me when I'm walking in the woods. And I grabbed some logs and some sticks, some mud, and I, fashioned a crude raft, which I then used to traverse across the river. About halfway across the river, the raft collapsed, and I fell into the water, but it was only about 4 feet deep, so it wasn't really a big deal. Just kind of waded across the water, and they watched me wade across the water. They seemed a little confused about the whole thing, but they didn't seem threatened. And I made it, I kind of got out of the water, and I was just standing on the bank there. Took my pants off. I was squeezing them into the river like a giant washcloth. And they were watching me, and eventually they just kind of shook their head, like, what are you gonna do? Like that kind of thing. And the three of them just headed back into the woods, and I threw my pants back on and just kind of followed at a safe distance.
Excellent. That's a very good idea. I would never get too close to these creatures.
This is some good advice for our viewers at home. If you do see a Bigfoot, please keep at a safe distance. Now I think is a good time to see how our investigation in the field is going.
There's 3 huge mistakes people make when they hunt Bigfoot. Number 1, hunting Bigfoot at night. That's a bullshit. They can't see at night. That's why they're active during the day. And their sense of smell, they can smell somebody from a mile away. That's why I use this stuff. A little skunk. Covers my tracks, smells like skunk. And number 2, a Bigfoot's fur is not totally bulletproof. That's bullshit. We all know that. It is thick, except for 2 spots. Right around the belly button and around the pinky toe. The only thing tougher than that is dragon scales. And that can handle magic, fire, bullets, whatever. And number 3, one of Bigfoot's biggest weaknesses, right here, the belly button area. And what I like to do is use something like this that I call the pain fryer. People are like, Joe, why do you use a pain fryer? Why don't you use a gun? Why don't you use a knife? Why don't you use something deadly? This is just as deadly, but I can walk through an airport with this. I can go to a restaurant with this. This isn't illegal. This is legal in 50 states. And take your paint fryer and you go like this. And then, for good measure, right in the pinky toe.
And I hate to even imply something like this. However, this type of experience is one that could be associated with a psychedelic experience as well. as you go off into these woods, are you ever tripping or high on something that could be interpreted otherwise?
No, no, absolutely not. I had had 4 or 5 beers before walking into the woods because I like to just have a couple beers before I go into the woods. But I was not on anything illegal. I was not on anything that would, make me hallucinate big feet. It was the real deal. Everybody wants to act like I'm crazy, but it was the real deal.
We're not here to judge you. We're just here to get the answers. So while you were crossing the river and allowing these creatures to traverse ahead of you, where did they go to? Where did they go to?
Well, after about 3 or 4 hours of following them, we came to what I realized pretty quickly was, their home. And they went in, and I just kind of hung out in the tree line, watching for a while. Eventually they left again.
Wow. So what did you do after they left? Were you able to get any kind of a visual inside of this home? What kind of home was it?
Well, it wasn't like a cave with a boulder in front of it or like a tree house. It was actually a very nice log cabin. Looked like it had been built in the last 15 years, pretty new, good shape. Giant furniture. The chairs were all 4 feet off the ground. They had a big welcome mat for giant feet. Windows were tall. It was definitely a building designed for and possibly by Bigfoot.
That is very interesting. What did you do while you were inside other than checking out the quality of their furniture?
Well, I was inside. I was looking around. They had a bunch of pictures of other big feet on the walls, and they had a really tall coat rack with giant coats on it. But I was very hungry. I had been wandering for hours and hours, and walked into their dining room, and on top of this giant table, they had 3 huge bowls of it was porridge, and I'm a big porridge fan. I eat porridge at least 3 times a week generally. I just always got to have porridge on hand. And so I grabbed one of their big spoons, and I went to the first bowl and I took a bite, and it was too hot. So, I put that spoon down, went to the next bowl, grabbed that spoon, took a bite, and that porridge was too cold. And that was confusing to me because I don't know how you can have one bowl that's too hot, one that's too cold. That's, it all came from one pot, I assume, but it's neither here nor there. I put that spoon down, went to the third bowl, and I grabbed that spoon, I took a bite, and that porridge was just right. So I ate the whole bowl. And this was as I've said, all of their things are bigger. So this bowl was I don't even know, twice the size of a normal person's bowl. So it was a lot of porridge. So I was feeling pretty sleepy after that, and I went upstairs, and the stairs were all 3 feet tall. I really can't stress this enough. Everything was big, as big as their feet, I suppose. But I made it to the bedroom, and they had just a bedroom with some, curtains with flowers on them, and 3 beds. Just they all sleep in their own little, well, not little, but I assume it's the equivalent of a twin-sized bed for a Bigfoot. Just 3 of them in a room. So I went in, got in the first bed. It was too hard. So I said, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. Got a bad back. Got out of that second bed, too soft. It was like sleeping in a hammock or like a other hammock type bed that you would build, I suppose. In any event, that wasn't going to work either. That's almost as bad as too hard. So I got out of there, went to the third bed, and this bed was just perfect. It was like somebody had built a bed just for me, aside from it being too big. So I fell asleep, but I wake up, I don't know how much longer later. The sun was pretty low in the sky at this point when I wake up. It's getting dark. And I hear something just coming up the stairs, just stomping on the stairs. And I kind of look in the doorway and I see them. It's the 3 big feet. And they looked pissed that I was there. They did not look pleased. They were grunting and just grunting loudly, which I guess is their form of yelling. But I jumped out of the bed, said I'm sorry, said I was tired, I ate your porridge, ran down the stairs, almost fell and broke my neck because of those huge 3-foot stairs, and out the door, and I just kept running. I didn't even look behind me to see if they were behind me. I ran until I collapsed miles away. Finally made it back to town like the next afternoon or something. I was delirious, I was feverish, I was confused, I was thirsty. I was very thirsty. And I wasn't very hungry because that porridge was really filling, but still, it was hellish. They were so ugly. You know, I would love to take you guys and your camera crew there, you know, more than anything, really. You know, I really would, because it is there.
I really like that.
It's there, you know, I'm not making it up, but I can't remember for the life of me how to get there.
That is most unfortunate. We are very lucky that you made it out alive.
Indeed, we are very glad that Mr. White made it out alive. But Mr. White is not the only one who has a history with the Kalamazoo Bigfoot. Our very own field expert Joe has had a very long past and history with this elusive creature.
I remember the first time I heard about Bigfoot. I was probably about 3 years old. My grandfather told me this story about a child that was lost in the woods and was raised by ape men. Grew up to be huge, 10 feet tall, bulletproof hair everywhere on its body except its belly button and its pinky toe. Those are the most vulnerable spots. He was crazy. He would rape and pillage for no apparent reason, just because he could. Because it's the only thing it knew to do. It didn't know any better. It was raised by the ape man. I remember when I was a kid at night, sometimes storms or heavy winds, a tree outside my bedroom window would scratch the glass. I could have swore it was the ape man coming to get me.
Wow, that is all really great information. But what can you do when you come face to face with a skunk ape in the woods and do not have a pan fryer handy? Let's go back to Matt in the studio and find out. Thanks, Matt. Now let's bring it over to Weaver.
Would you and your family know what to do? Here are 7 steps to know in order to survive a Bigfoot attack. Step 1. Identify the Bigfoot quickly upon your encounter. Step 2. Quickly assess whether the Bigfoot before you is behaving defensively or is attacking you to clear her path to food. Step 3. Regardless of whether you're being attacked for predatory or defensive reasons, a Bigfoot is dangerous when he decides to attack. Step 4. Deal with a Bigfoot charge as calmly as possible. Step 5. fight with whatever you have. Step 6. Escape as soon as it's safe to do so. Step 7. Play dead. Please remember, these are suggestions. There is no one checklist best for surviving a Bigfoot attack.
Because they are so elusive, though, and seem to exhibit some kind of a psychic mind control power, do you believe that these creatures could be species from another planet that are here to inhabit and observe our world?
Really not at all. I guess this probably sounds like the pot calling the kettle black, but I really can't stand people that talk about how they met aliens. I think that's ridiculous and absurd. And I also don't like it because then when I try to tell people my story, they look at me like I'm crazy and they go, "Oh, you're just some conspiracy nut." And I say, "Hey, I don't even believe in aliens, buddy."
What if, stay with me here, aliens and the Bigfoot were one?
Well, if anybody was going to travel through space, it'd probably be the big feet, because they just seem like they're capable. They seem very hardy.
Absolutely. So then, the alien conspirators who you speak of very disapprovingly are not that far off from your own story. They just need to be on the same page.
Well, all I know is that I have evidence for mine. I know, and by evidence I mean my memories. So don't get me wrong here. I don't have any proof besides what's in my brain. But I know what I saw, and I know what I felt. And if people want to believe in little green men from space, that's fine. If they want to, be delusional. But I know that there are giant Sasquatch creatures in the woods that can control my brain.
Yes, we do not need any more of those at all. So taking up a strike force against them would absolutely be the next logical step.
Yeah, we gotta slaughter them.
If only we could find the location that you speak of would be the best jumping off point.
Yeah, maybe you guys want to get like a hypnotist in here and try to get it out of my brain or something. Maybe like a lady hypnotist, like somebody
Yeah,
like early 20s or something.
right. There's always a possibility of that happening.
Yeah, I can't afford one on my own, but if you guys want to, I'd be down for that.
Definitely. And as we continue to get further developments on this, we will definitely be staying in contact with you. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
So with all this evidence we found while exploring the Kalamazoo woods and Mr. White's first-person accounts, it all adds up to something happening out there we cannot explain. And with the Kalamazoo Creepy Files, we are always eager to hear your comments, questions, concerns, things of that nature. So feel free to please leave us any information like that at the links below and find us on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in.